This guy biffed his new bike.
Biffed it.
Was that a 1,000cc bike? Did I see that in there?
On the Kawasaki, which one was it?
The blue bike that he dumped. There was a video, he's got a YouTube channel and he posted it of him dumping it. So we'll just have to give him a little shit, just joking around. But anyway, all right, I'm going to do this one. So,
okay.
All right.
Hold on, I'm still trying to pull up the question. 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never heard the word. I haven't heard the word biffed. I don't know why I think that's so funny. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. This will be episode 3 of the Broken Moto Show, where me, my buddy Matt from How to Motorcycle Repair, go in after. That's the right word to say it. Go in after the questions that you send us through email. And send us videos and pictures and all this cool stuff. So my name's Cody from MotorcycleMD. For those who do not know, this is my buddy Matt. Matt, what's going on?
Yeah, Matt from howtomotorcyclerepair.com. And this is a show where you submit your questions and we answer it.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple. Yeah.
What kind of beer are you drinking right now?
Guinness,
man. Okay. I'm more of a IPA kind of guy.
So I love IPAs.
Oh, really?
But they love to give me a headache too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, man, 2-3 of them, and I'm hurting the next day. I don't know. I guess I'm old, So
honestly, that's how I actually am with Bud Light. Dude, Bud Light gives me the pounding headache. Okay.
Wait. What kind of IPA are you drinking?
Okay, right now this is from 21st Century Amendment. It is brew free.
Nice.
It's a good little, I think it's like a 7%.
Oh, man.
But it's got a lot of orange in it. Lots of orange. And I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and so you got Guinness, so everyone knows.
Yeah. So there's an IPA I like that's only sold in Wisconsin called Moon Man, and it is good.
It's the best?
I love it. It's just, it's good.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So maybe in another episode, but
yeah.
I'm fresh out. So.
Well, now I'm actually on number 2, which would be down. I love the art, dude. It says down to earth.
Yeah. Nice.
It's got a monkey in an astronaut suit showing in a hammock.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. Those IPAs have crazy art, dude. Like
the best. It's the best.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. I think we did 3 questions last episode, so let's see how many we can get through on this one.
Yeah.
But okay, here it goes. I'm new biker, a relative newbie to motorcycling based in London, UK. My issue is not mechanical, but bodywork. I hope this is allowed. So he sent in a YouTube video. He's got a YouTube channel. So he sent in a YouTube video. So what I'll do is I'll probably download it and play this right here. Okay, dude, that sucks. You biffed on your new bike. That sucks. Okay. And
big old biff.
Yeah. So, I mean, oh man, I've fallen on dirt bikes on the street. I never dropped a street bike, but hey man, we've all been there, right?
Yes,
so
we have.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So you've tried to repair the clutch casing by sanding down the scratches and ding. First, I masked off the area and dry sanded down using wet and dry 1500 grit. Cleaned it with IPA alcohol before using XHT black spray paint as directed. As you can see from the pictures, the finish isn't perfect as the texture is slightly different, even after polishing. Is it just a case of adding another layer of enamel? So grateful for any advice. Noob, or is it newbie? I don't know. But anyway.
What do you think?
So, well, first thing, he showed a picture of the spray paint can, and it had 650 F on there degrees. So that it's like barbecue paint.
Yeah.
That stuff is flat.
The label literally said extremely high temp paint.
Yeah. So when you get into paints like that, they are almost like a wrinkle finish, I want to say, or textured like you're experiencing, and it is flat. There's no gloss to it. So it's not matching your factory paint, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think enamel will be just fine for this application. Those cases get up to like 250 degrees max, right?
Yeah, definitely not. I think the can said like 1600 degrees Fahrenheit or something.
Oh, was it 1600?
Dude, it was outrageous.
Yeah, so no need for that paint.
Yeah. Overkill,
So,
way overkill.
so
What I'm also worried about, sorry to cut you off, what I'm also
No.
worried about is the enamel that he uses. Dude, I don't have good luck with enamels. I don't know. But every time I spray on a black or anything color, it either like does this little like dimple thing. So
like fisheye?
yes.
Okay.
And I've tried like waiting for a long period of time. I've tried doing it like within the directions, like within 30 minutes, start hitting it with like new coats or whatever.
Okay.
I've tried layering it. I've tried doing a number of different things. I just had bad luck with enamel.
Oh,
Help me, Matt. Help me.
Well, I mean, I think you had a fisheye, so that's contamination and it's not sticking.
Okay.
I think. But what I've done is like if I spray enamel, I let it dry or tack up, and then I go put it on my barbecue grill at 200, 250 degrees, and I let that sucker bake
Okay.
for an hour.
Yeah.
And dude, that shit gets rock hard, man.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely much better. And
Yeah.
I think Duplicolor or Krylon works better than Rust-Oleum, I think.
Okay.
And I like the tip on it better.
Yeah.
But
the Krylon touch.
Yeah.
Sweet. So either switch to a gloss paint for this guy. I would also, it looked like he had sectioned off like a small portion of it.
Yeah.
I would just do the whole thing.
So I think he doesn't want to take the whole cover off. I mean,
I didn't see how big the actual cover was. All I saw
was, it looks like a full fairing bike in the video. I can't remember, but yeah, it's a full fairing bike, and he's masking off the clutch area. So, okay. Well, first off, you got to sand off what you have on there. Start fresh. So scuff that off. I don't know, 400, 600 grit, whatever. Just get that down. 1500 is way too fine.
You'll be there for days.
Yeah. So scuff that off, and then repaint it with just regular low spray paint will be just fine. And find maybe a medium gloss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know even if they have a medium gloss. Probably just gloss.
Yeah,
semi-gloss. That's it. Oh man. Anyway, yeah. So semi-gloss would probably be a good match. And then, anytime you tape off, you're going to have a hard edge.
Boom.
One thing you can do is tape paper all the way around like this. So when you're spraying, it'll feather it underneath here all around.
Dude, that's red level right there.
Yeah. So, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it in that area because he's got his fairings and all that. So I think it might make more of a mess in that situation. But just anyway.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then after that, you're probably going to want to take like 800 to blend it, then 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, and then maybe 1,500, 2,000, and then like rubbing compound on a rag, and then it'll probably be good enough.
Yeah, because you got to get rid of that hard edge that you created with the paint.
Yeah.
Because you have the layer that was there. Now you have your new layer. You got to bring that in. Without damaging the original. So this is where it gets a little Yeah. Okay, and then so that'll take care of that. A little off topic is, man, you have a lot of balls posting a video like that, man. I don't know if I would do it. So that's awesome that you posted a video of you biffing. So that's pretty cool. I mean, no, that's great. I mean, others can learn from it. Heck yeah, dude.
And I think I noticed you had like 1,000cc bike. I probably would recommend something a lot smaller and less expensive for a new guy. And I'm guilty of it as well. But man, like a 600, a beat up 600 that costs a couple grand, $3-4 grand. Yep. Learn on it for a year. You can sell it for the same amount the year after. That's what I would recommend for someone just starting out.
Buy a bike you don't mind dropping.
Yeah.
That's what we try to tell people. especially if you know, they even make, I know you'll get tired of it quick, especially after you've been riding a 1000, but they make 300s, dude. They're like, you can get them for like $1,200. Like Kawasaki 300s, Honda has a CBR 300, and dude, just drop it, you know?
Yeah.
Push it to a limit and drop it, and then you'll know what you can do.
Or like a Ninja 250. I know no one wants to be seen on a Ninja 250, but hey, you know, I mean,
dude, you gotta work your way up.
Yeah, get some practice, and then you know, work your way up as time goes on.
Good advice, Matt. Good
Yep.
advice.
Thank you, man.
All right. So question 5. All right. Hey guys, super pumped for the new series. I can't wait to see what diagnostics you can give. Okay, here's my story. Let me try to edit this as I read. My name is Will from Ireland. A lot of people from out of the States, which is pretty cool, I feel like.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I bought a Kawasaki VN 750, which I believe is like a Vulcan.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know too many bikes, but I'm gonna try. As far as outside of Honda, as a project bike, I have rebuilt the entire engine, all new parts, gaskets, seals, and pumps. I think that's like maybe the oil pump. It starts first push of the button, but it will not rev over 3,000 RPM. The electrics check out, as does fuel flow, as the tank is new old stock, and also the petcock has been rebuilt. Compression is spot on also. The only problem I found is, and this is while I was rebuilding the carburetor, was the emulsion tubes for the main jets had been over tightened to the point where they had warped the compressed inside. Warped and compressed inside. I'm not very good at reading anymore. Of the carburetor. All the jets have been replaced, including the 2 emulsion tubes. So someone hammered down I think, what was it, the main jet on the emulsion tube, or the emulsion tube on the needle jet?
I'm assuming it's the jet holder that you just talked about, and then the emulsion tube.
Got it.
And then the main jet. So there's really 3 parts that go into the body. Yeah.
Right. All the jets have been replaced, including the 2 emulsion tubes. Could the carburetor be damaged as a result of this? And would this be the reason for the symptoms I'm having? Here's a link to the video, which we will show you guys now. Many thanks, guys. I look forward to the new series. So, a lot going on here.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
And Will, you broke the first rule. We don't know what year it is.
We don't.
So, it looks, from the video, it looks like late 80s, early 90s, maybe. I don't know.
So this is a problem mainly. Let me see if I can just cliff note it. The problem is mainly when he starts at 3,000 RPM. So right off the bat, in my brain, it starts spinning, and I immediately think of the vacuum slides.
Yeah.
Because if you guys have ever experienced a bike that has a bad vacuum slide, the rubber diaphragm slide piston, that's what the CV carburetor is all about. It's a constant velocity, so it's measuring and metering its own amount of volume into the carburetor, into the engine, all on itself. It's not rider input at all. Okay, when you're twisting the throttle, you're not moving that piston. It's doing its own damn thing while it's going.
Right.
So that there's a rubber section around that top, because I didn't hear that you went through the carbs. It sounded like you went into and found some things wrong. Maybe it's something that you might have just missed. You take that rubber diaphragm and you really kind of fan it out in your fingers and open it up and have a look at it. It's rubber. It should be solid, and it should be flimsy, and it shouldn't be any deterioration going on. A lot of times on the older bikes, when just how they sit inside the top, they'll crease in certain sections around the rubber. And whenever that happens, that CV piston no longer functions. Okay, it just sits there. So when you're giving it throttle, all it's doing is taking in whatever it can underneath that CV, just enough to maybe push it up, but it's just escaping right out the top because there's no pressure for it to move. That's immediately what I think of, because that's exactly what happens. The bike will not do anything over a certain RPM. It may be 3,000, it may be 25, it may be 5. That's the first thing, and I'm done.
No, I mean, I would say carburetor, and yeah, that you're in the needle range, which is the CV slide. Okay, in the video it was idling fine, so the pilot circuit is fine, and then you get onto the next circuit, which is the needle, which is affected by the slide, like you mentioned. Just to add a little more info, in the video I noticed that he had some kind of different exhaust on there, and it actually had like a flex pipe on there. So it has some kind of homemade exhaust on it. Okay. Now there was a brief view of the airbox. It looks stock, but who knows if it's been gutted or whatever.
Yeah.
So
holes drilled through it.
Yeah. So what I want to mention is if you take any part off a stock airbox, it's going to run like crap.
Bingo.
And it's lean. So there's all kinds of chambers to restrict a stock airbox, stock airflow. If any of that is missing, you're going to run like in that video.
Absolutely. Yeah. We actually just had a VF 500 Interceptor in, and they have a really funky, everything about that bike is funky, dude. The colors are cool, but the bike's not that cool. So all the parts are different from any other bike out, right? And on the airbox, they have a lid that has a big hole in it. And the guy, and not knowing the customer, he had put the air filter upside down. So all you're looking at is a K&N logo, because they put a K&N filter, because that's the cool thing to do.
Right.
And so that's all you're looking at. So literally, you're not looking into the air filter, so it can't bring in air. So that was the first thing. I flipped the air filter upside down, and it ran, right?
Okay.
But then I'm like, man, it won't take throttle over $4,000 or like 4,500. And I go back to the parts fish, and I realize that there's a little rubber snorkel.
Snorkel, yeah.
What is little snorkel, dude? I'm like, oh, well, this is it. Like
he's uncorking it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something as small as that can cause dramatic effects.
Sure.
Because they put it there, guess what? For a reason.
Yeah. And a quick tip. I know, like, I've been talking about applying choke in certain questions answered here.
Yeah.
You know what I've done in the past is apply tape over the air duct to restrict air and make it run richer. So that's just a quick trip. I mean, a piece of tape takes 2 seconds to put on, right? I don't know if that applies here, but you know what I'm saying is, like, you can do simple things to alter the fueling for diagnosing a problem.
Yeah, that's literally what I did on the Interceptor. So.
Oh yeah, tape.
Yeah. Yep, tape. I was like, yo, I got tape on it. You just need to find yourself a new one because they're not available anymore.
oh, that's okay. Sounds good. Oh man. Cool. Well, he could jet it, right?
Yes, but yes, yeah, he could. He totally could, and then just never be able to enjoy the bike. Yeah.
Okay.
He'll just keep on jetting,
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it for this question, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Let me, where is it? Okay. Next one. Good morning, guys. My name is Gus from Tucson, Arizona. I have a 97 Vulcan 800 California model. I brought it to life a few months ago. It doesn't go over 50. It gets to 50 and starts to sputter. I redid the carb per Matt's how-to video. Pretty simple. So yeah, I got a video on that bike.
Oh, sweet. I
had an electrical issue with the starter. I took it to mechanic and asked to route or fix the vacuum lines, which he did. The bike had a hypercharger filter installed, no canister. Underneath the gas tank, there are 3 nipples. One is connected to the carburetor, front right. Another has a hose that runs out of the bike to expel extra gas from the gas tank, front left. Last one has no attached. Note, the Petcott vacuum hose connects to the carb and tees to the hypercharger. I have compared the hypercharger and the motorcycle manual schematics to the fuel lines and hit a dead end. to me, using the schematics, everything looks good. I appreciate any help you, Cody, and Matt can give me. All right.
Mr. Matt.
Okay, so first off, let's talk about the 3 hoses to make sure they're installed correctly. So there should be a 6 millimeter or 1/4 inch hose off the petcock, which will be for fuel to the carb. Okay. Then there'll be that vent hose. That should be what, 3/16 or 4 millimeters, roughly 5, whatever. So that is just strictly to let air into the tank, air in and out, so fuel can flow. So maybe it's a good idea to blow through that hose, put your mouth over the hose and just blow into it to make sure it's not obstructed. The last one is a vacuum source or signal to the petcock, which will open it when it's running to allow it to flow. Okay. It doesn't sound like it's hooked up correctly.
It sounds like because the hypercharger is sharing that vacuum, right? Yeah. Well, normally the hyperchargers that I've seen, they share vacuum with the petcock.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with this hypercharger stuff.
Okay.
So it has like a butterfly on it.
Exactly.
Vacuum operated. Okay.
So when you give it throttle, it sucks in more and it kind of closes off the thing. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that. So it sounds like it's getting a vacuum signal.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds correct, I guess, then, right?
Yeah,
and
it sounds like it.
And it's running, so it's getting fuel. Now, this model, I believe, might have a position on the petcock called PRI, prime.
Mm-hmm.
That flows regardless of vacuum signal or not. So that sucker bypasses, it's in bypass mode, and that's to fill the carb or whatever. I guess you can turn it to that mode for diagnosing if you want. But I guess
a weird switch because they had those on Suzuki's too, on old Suzuki's.
Yeah, I had an 86 GSX-R 750. It had the prime thing on there. Yeah. So anyway, I guess I have to ask if this thing's jetted, because it doesn't have the stock airbox.
Right.
And then you have to ask, it has to have jetting done to it or a jet kit. Otherwise, it will not run
even close to 50. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, it's getting back to what you said earlier. It's probably your slide acting up.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, it's not fueling correctly in the half throttle range, which is the slide. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I got. Go ahead.
No, yeah. I'm glad you knew more about the vacuum hoses than I did, because I didn't know what he was talking about. But now it all makes sense, because that's exactly what the vacuums are for. So,
right.
Yeah, blowing through the tank is important, because if you don't, or if there's a blockage there, the tank will literally just cave in because of the vacuum that's created from gas leaving. So that's important.
Right.
Jetting is going to be a factor, especially with the hypercharger, because that's what you got. I hate those things. So I'm sorry that you have one on your bike. But you might need to start jetting it and start going up bigger, because it may reach 50. And then once you give it more throttle, it may just be like, you know what, I need more gas right now, and you're not giving it to me,
Right.
I'm not sure what you got going on. More information is key when this types of questions. So that, I was also wondering if it had, sometimes they have like a fuel pump when the carbs sit like into the tank, and there's like, the gravity of fuel plays a role.
So
do you know if that has one?
It does not. And here's why. I worked on this model and I did a video on it, and what happens is the float gets stuck open, and all the gas gets dumped into the engine.
Fantastic.
The whole crankcase fills up with 2 gallons of gas. So yeah, it's just gravity flow.
Okay. Okay.
But
yeah.
So, so maybe a couple quick things you can do. I said this like 3 times already. Apply some choke, see if it gets better. Get some tape and tape up the hypercharger holes, which will reduce the air, and see if it responds. See if the engine responds. Those are 10-second tests you can do.
Yep.
If it responds better, you're lean.
Yeah. Yeah. And try to do like one thing and then go for a ride, you know, 'cause if you do like 4 things, you'd be like, oh, one of them did it. And then you won't know which one it was.
Yeah, sure. One thing at a time. Yep.
Yeah. One thing at a time. Cool.
All right. That's it for that one.
All right. We're at the 20, I think we're at the 22-minute mark. What do you got?
I totally forgot to write it down. So.
Oh, cool. So I think we should do one more.
Yeah. It sounds like we can do about 3 questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can. This next one's interesting. So yeah, go ahead and you can read it off.
Cool. All right. Question number 7. I have a 1983 Suzuki GS 750 ES. This is the bike that you just said that you used to have, Matt?
I had a GSXR 86. So yeah.
Do those have the round headlights in the front?
Yeah, 2 round ones.
Oh, dude.
Oil cooled. Dude, I love that bike, and it had flat side carbs on it.
Oh man.
And going back to kind of poking fun at noob, well, I bought the 750 when I was 18.
Yeah.
No license, and it was too much bike,
but
I loved it, man. Yeah. But I didn't crash it, but hey. But almost. I mean, oh my God, dude, that thing was a lot of fun. Yeah. So
dude, there's something about the 90s sport bikes that just looks so cool to me. Like they like cut holes in the fairings for like breathing, and like, I just love the round headlight, big fairing, big swooping fairing sport bikes. Really cool.
It was a cool bike because you sat in it versus like on top. My butt wasn't higher than my wrists.
Right.
So it was comfortable to ride. I mean, it's an old school bike, but hey, this was 1999 is when I had it. Okay. So this is way back, dude.
Right.
So, but anyway.
All right. Sorry.
During
low RPM, under 1,000 RPM, while in neutral, there is a significant chatter noise coming from the clutch. If you increase RPM, it goes away. If you pull the clutch lever in, it goes away. While under load in gear, even at low RPM, it goes away. I have taken the clutch apart and verified that all springs and the geometry of all the drive plates and driven plates are well within factory specs. I verified the bolts and tightened to spec torque. Can you give me ideas of where to go from here and what to be checking, inspecting, or replacing? Thanks, Ryan in Kansas.
All right, what you got?
I got nothing. No, the clutch. The time I've heard chatter is coming from the movement of the plates inside of the basket, right? So the basket, clutch basket. I know, Ryan, you pulled it off and you were like, oh, clutch plates, oh, steel plates. And you looked at those and the springs and you tightened all that stuff. The basket it's held in has fingers that hang off of it, right? And they hold the plates in. And what can happen is on a bike with high mileage, which you didn't put your mileage down. It's okay. We forgive you. The plates inside, if it's a high mileage bike, lots of working miles, the plates can dig into these fingers and it creates this gapping and it causes the plates to kind of just rattle a little bit. And when you pull the clutch in and they change because you kind of like, you move the movement of where they were sitting, or when you put a load on the motor because you're putting a load in the basket, sometimes, and this is not just a scapegoat out of this, but like, unless you've owned the bike for its whole life, some bikes have very loud baskets because they meet in contact with the crankshaft. Like they're like directly in contact with it. So those gears that mesh are loud. CBR 1, like 06 to 07 CBR 1000 RRs, super loud. Just clutch out, sitting in idle. You put a clutch in, it goes from like to nothing. Not saying that it's like a normal thing for your bike, but that's what I would expect. If you told me that, I would pull the clutch cover off and then I would go in after to see if there's a lot of wear taking place on the clutch basket's fingers, the hub fingers. What about you?
So, I mean, like, I I don't think I've heard. I mean, I know clutches can be noisy.
Yeah.
But never enough to like question it where it may be a problem. And then like replacing parts and fixing it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
right.
Let me back way up and say, is it even a clutch issue at all? Okay. Like if your engine is not tuned well, it can be rough.
Yeah.
And is that a chattering we're hearing? Okay.
That's a good point.
Like first of all, inline fours don't like to idle under 1,000.
Yeah.
Right. And the spec is probably 1,100 or something RPM on this guy.
Yep.
I don't know. This sounds crazy, but maybe check your fuel screw tuning and carb sync and get your idle to 1,100.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy out of the box thinking.
No, I mean, dude, like CRF 450s are coming out of the box. Like they want them things at like almost 1900 RPM.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like singing. And you're like, this sounds really bad. It sounds like but if you bring it down, it's like,
yeah. Or you know what a bike sounds like when the carbs are out of sync? It's like, it sounds like it's knocking like crazy, right?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just something to think about, I guess.
Yeah. I was thinking like, could it be like timing chain? But I feel like the clutch lever wouldn't make it do that. Pulling the clutch lever and wouldn't change. No, it wouldn't.
Right. Well, okay. So I didn't look up the parts schematic on this. I don't know if this guy has primary drivetrains hooked up to the crank. I don't know if it runs off a gear off the crank or a chain set.
Good question.
Like the CB500, 750 and stuff. So if it's not running smooth and you got a chain set, all of a sudden that could start.
You're totally right.
Clacking, you know? I should have looked that up, but I just figured.
We'll do that next time.
I don't know. Yeah. Right.
We'll at least Google the bike.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool, man. I think that's all the time we got.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some questions banged out. We try to hit at least 3 or 4 questions per episode. It's what it seems like it's coming down to.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't want to crush too much of you guys this time with a 30 or 40 minute thing. Let us know, actually, in the comments. Let us know. Is this awesome? Do you hate it? Do you wish we could answer more questions and just stop talking about ourselves? Let us know. You have anything to plug?
Check out my site, howtomotorcyclerepair.com. I have over 200 videos that you can definitely check out. That's
you actually just did the awesome thing on vapor hone stuff too, man. That was pretty killer.
Yeah, I'm beat from a few months of all that video work, so I'm just chilling right now, just trying to,
do a collaboration video with MotorcycleMD. That's what we're trying to do.
That's right. This is easy. Talking and drinking beer is nice.
Right on, man. Yeah, and for those of you who do not know me, check out my website, TheMotorcycleMD. I have tons of carb stuff on there. I have multiple products with single, twin, inline 4, and now introduced a V4 for like Magna stuff, newer Magna stuff. Check them out. Total walkthroughs on there, and as well as the mailing list. You can join there as well. You get a free troubleshooting cheat sheet that I hand drawn and wrote just for you guys. It's pretty ridiculous, but you get it for free just for joining the mailing list, and that allows me to contact you when new videos like this one with me and Matt come out. It gives you first notice of when it's going to hit, and that's it. That's it. Yeah. So the email, askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. Hit us up, make a video, pictures, give us a bunch of information. Again, what Matt said in the beginning, the more information, the better. Yeah,
follow the rules, guys.
Follow the rules. And we'll see you guys next time.
We'll probably be adding rules as time goes on. It's going to be a list this long of stuff you got to submit. So, yeah.
Perfect. We'll send them back a reply email with the rules.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right, guys. See you next time.
See ya.